sharing your expertise as a geopolitical commentator. Now we move on to Asia. Thousands of Filipinos are flooding the streets of Philippines, Manila, in massed protests against alleged corruption in flood control projects. Protesters are accusing lawmakers, officials, as well as contractors of pocketing massive kickbacks. Police are on high alert as rallies take place at EDSA and other key sites. Protesters are waving flags as well as calling for justice, not violence. The U.S. and Australian embassies have warned citizens to stay clear. President Marcos has launched an inquiry after admitting the corruption was horrible. Let's have a look at what some protesters have said.
The people are very angry because they have been victims of flooding for all these years. And flooding has made their lives so difficult. And yet the discovery that all the billions of pesos that were supposed to help them, that were supposed to solve the problem, have ended up lining the pockets of all these corrupt politicians, government officials, and contractors. We are calling on government to hold to account everyone who is involved in that corruption. No sacred cows, no allies, everyone who is involved.
We are here to remind our people that during the anniversary of martial law was not just about authoritarian rule. Martial law enabled the plunder of our nation's wealth. Unfortunately, authoritarianism and plunder continue to plague our country. So we are here to demand action from the government. We are here to demand accountability against corrupt officials in the government.
Now for this discussion, we are joined by Dr. Satoru Nagao. He's a fellow at Hudson Institute, joins us live from Tokyo. Thank you very much, Doctor, for joining us again. Now, looking at this Philippines and the demonstrations there, what impact might these protests against alleged corruption have on the Philippines government and its officials? Will this bring any change?
Corruption-related issue during the economic development is indeed, we cannot underestimate the impact. Because corruption issue is, of course, a bad thing for the government. At the same time, during the economic development, the people's expectation is rise, but there is a gap between the expectations and their real life. That's why, compared with a more stable situation, society could be the more unstable. People want to complain, even if their life is a little bit improved, because the expectation is rise higher than their improving speed. So that's why it's, as a background, when the country is rising, this is serious. But especially in case of the President Marcos, he cannot underestimate this kind of the move, because firstly, his father was need to leave the country because People's Power Movement in 1986. So demonstration against the corruption was the main reason his father faced such kind of situation. And another reason is in the Philippines still some certain number of the former President Duterte supporter is there, and they want to exploit such kind of situation to overthrow the government. So that's why the current President Marcos need to face the support of the former President Duterte. So under such kind of situation, there is a possibility the small demonstration could be the bigger demonstration to overthrow his status. In case of the government, indeed, the influence from the other countries also matter, because former President Duterte was relatively the cordial relation with China, and China want to support them. And in case of the current President Marcos, clearly the strong bond with the United States. So this is one kind of the proxy battle between the U.S. and China is also the one aspect of the politics. So, of course, the tradition of the People's Power Philippines, Democratic Power Philippines is very strong, and this is decisive factor. But at the same time, if the demonstration will be big, it could be the relatively big impact in the Indo-Pacific power balance. Well, that is my analysis. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Satoru Nagao, for joining us and sharing your insight all the way from Japan. Now, well, this is all we have time for.